PC, Macs, and Linux standalone. Obviously, there's only some drivers right now for PC for Oculus, so that's fine. This is basically just going to build me a standalone. So with that selected, in my player settings here, we have a bunch of different things here. I've got my resolution and presentation settings. So is it default full screen? Are we using DirectX 9? Blah, blah, blah. We can. That's not. It is important, but we're not going to deal with that too much today. But if you go down to other settings, right here, virtual reality supported. If that is checked, virtual reality is supported. If it's unchecked, it's not. That's it. That's all there is to say about VR and Unity. It just magically works. So now, with it unchecked, if I press play, now I have a normal, somewhat top-down shooter. This doesn't work at all. If I stop it and press play, now I press virtual reality supported. Now, I'm in this mode. If I look through the headset, I'm going to see my game. It's brilliant. There's nothing else to set up. I mean, there is a little bit, but for the most part, that gets the software going and the hardware. Right now, if you click the plus sign here, you can see we have a few other OpenVR SDKs. Virtual reality SDKs. So Oculus is one of our fantastic partners. So Oculus is in there at the source code level. You don't have to install any plugins. Once the touch controllers are available, touch is magically going to be supported in there. You'll have touch objects and everything without doing any work. For some of the other headsets out there, you have to, at the moment, install a plugin, and then their stuff will appear here as well. But Oculus is our best buddy, so shoot, they're just in here all by themselves. If we were wanting to build for Gear VR, the only thing different I would have to do is go to my build settings, click on Android, and click switch platform. Nobody do that. It's about a 10-minute process because it's going to do a whole lot of stuff. So please don't do that one. But that's how easy it is to build for Gear VR. For other Android-based VR platforms, you'll have to download a plugin, but someday those will be inside the software as well. But right now, Oculus, both Gear VR and Oculus Rift is supported natively by just checking virtual reality supported. So I'm going to go back to PC and Mac, make sure VR is set up. And then what we've also done is we've created an editor script. Editor scripts are little simple scripts. Let's open this one up.
Sorry, a quick question.
Yes.
If you do switch to building for Gear VR, do you still get to preview the game?
No. At the moment for that, you do have to do a build and push it. A lot of that was just a limitation of not having a hardware pass-through for the headsets, but that will be available soon. Okay. It does make development a lot easier, but having to build and put that on, just being able to now have this thing running at all times and just stick your face in there and you see it, it's wonderful. So if you want to see something rather comical, go look at the Samsung Developers Conference of 2 years ago, search for my name, and watch how hard it was to get VR working on Gear VR just 2 years ago. It was like brain surgery that you had to do, but now it's just click a box. So we've come a long way. Technology's obviously come a long way. And we've actually made another editor script. All this editor script says is we're going to run inside the engine, and we're going to give you a toggle to turn VR on and off. And there's a little bit more in here that it's doing, but it's doing some checking if it's on or off. But all that script does is it adds this pull-down menu to my editor. So it's called an editor extension. It's a script that doesn't run in your game. It just runs in the Unity editor to extend the functionality of Unity. I've seen extremely complex ones. I've seen fairly basic ones. But what I'm going to do is just say VR, enable or disable. If I disable it, it did the exact same thing as when I went into my build settings. VR unsupported. If I check this editor script, now it turns it on. So that's it. It's just a way of easily making a shortcut. Again, nothing you need to do or worry about. I just want to show you everything that we're doing today to do that. So one thing that's really important to point out about the way our VR integration works. As soon as you check this box, what it does is it takes the rotation and the position of the camera and has this override it. It doesn't matter if you have a script controlling your rotation and your position, doesn't matter at all. Pressing virtual reality supported will override that. So this is going to support positional and rotational. On Gear VR, it's only going to support rotational because Gear VR doesn't support positional. Because we're not going to walk around the room, this isn't the game. The game's not going to be designed for that. I need to somehow make it so that any positional movement is going to be controlled by Unity, and the rotational values are going to be controlled by my headset. So in order to do that, I'm going to create a parent of the camera, so that the camera is going to control the look, but the parent is going to control the position. Does that make sense? Good. All right, so to do that, I'm going to make an empty game object that's going to control the movement of the character. Now this is a little bit tricky, only because my camera has a position in space that I've already set up. So I don't want to have to manually snap it to that. So here's a little trick. I want to make a game object, and I want that game object to inherit the position of the object I'm attaching it to. So if I right-click on main camera, and I click on create empty, it's going to make an empty game object that's parented to the main camera. I'm going to rename the game object. I'll call it camera control rig, like so. And now I'm going to break that parent-child hierarchy by just simply grabbing it and pulling it off of it. So now you can see they're flat again. And I'm going to take the camera and reparent it to the control rig. Now why did I do that? Now, wherever the control rig goes, oops, I'm in rotation, sorry, I'm going to do that. Wherever the control rig goes, the camera will follow, but if I press play, the rotation is still being controlled by this. So I've overridden, essentially, the position of the camera by placing it underneath a parent that's going to control its position. Hopefully that makes sense, but I do want to do a couple undos to get my camera back to where it was, like so. Like so. Okay, perfect. Now, there is some rotation that was inherited from my camera just looking down. Just to start this scene up, I wanted the camera to look down. I don't want that inherited on my control rig, so I need to zero those values out. So on my main camera, I'm going to switch on my main camera. Oh, we're good to go there. That's it. That's all I want to do. Yeah, we'll do that in the next step. That's what I thought. All right. So all you guys are going to do, it's fairly straightforward. You're going to right-click on your main camera, and you're going to say Create Empty. You're then going to take that empty game object, and right up here in the inspector, where it says Game Object, call it Camera Control Rig, and make sure to press Enter. And then you're going to take that camera control rig and pull it off the hierarchy. You just simply grab it and pull it off, and it'll unnest it. It'll break that parent-child hierarchy. Then take your camera and drag and drop it back on the camera control object. So you're just sort of reversing the parent-child hierarchy around, because I wanted to inherit those values. Just an easiest way of doing it. Otherwise, you're copying the object and typing a bunch of values. Again, just trying to show you another little trick. But that should then give you the ability to look around in VR and move around. And put the headset on. So you can put the headset on, and you should be able to see. I've got to hold down my A button. There we go. And holy crap, it just works. That's amazing. It sure would be nice if it was animating though, or we'll do that next. All right. So I will put those steps up. There we go. 34, that was inherited from the camera. When I created the game object under it, I'm going to type 0, 0x, 0y, 0z. You just want that camera to be looking straight forward. Otherwise, when someone puts this on, they're going to inherit that down look. So they're going to be looking up, but the headset's going to be telling them, no, you're looking down. So that's going to give you a little bit of weird neck fatigue and just kind of make things generally odd. So not on the main camera, but on the camera control rig, remove the rotation in X, Y, and Z. There should just be some on X. Just set that to 0. Can you change the yes. What I want to do is make our camera behave a little bit better with the Viking. So right now, when we are in VR, the camera moves with our head, but it doesn't follow our character. So I have to look up, then he gets far away, and now I don't really know what he's doing. So I want to have the camera follow the character. I want wherever, see like now he's gone, I don't want to have to contort myself and do that to see him. So we're going to put a little camera follow script on. Let's go ahead and stop this. And I'm going to grab my camera control script, my camera follow script. This is another one that it's out there on the internet. You can find it fairly easily. Basically what this does is it just really straightforward. It sets an offset variable. It figures out the offset of where the camera is versus where the position of our character is. It just says, all right, if one moves, apply that offset to both. So wherever one moves, they're just both going to offset. It's almost like a parent-child hierarchy, but we're doing it through code with a little bit of extra goodness. So for that, fairly simple, we're going to take that and we are going to drop it onto the camera control rig. The camera control rig is controlling where our character goes in space. That's the one that's going to be added to that. Again, this script is fairly generic. We have found for this particular example, a speed of 1 works a little bit better. It's a little less, it's a little speedy on your brain otherwise, and we only want to fight any kind of nauseousness. So setting that to the value of 1 is better. And then what is it we want to follow? So again, this script is just a script that's out there in the wild. I'm going to take it, I think this was actually inside our standard assets. So I'm going to take the Viking, and I'm going to drop that in as a target. So I just grabbed it right out of the hierarchy right here. I clicked on Viking, drag and drop, and filled the target field that the script is looking for. And now if I press play, and I'm playing with my headset here, now wherever my character goes, notice now my camera follows it. So the character is always the same basic distance to the camera when I move. And this looks a lot more natural when you're actually in VR. So, pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and pop those steps up. And there we go. Inside my models folder, under Mini Viking, we either picked, or you guys either picked, I guess we did, I did too, the Viking axes or the Viking sword. Okay, whichever one you picked, go into Model, Mini Viking, and find that one, Viking axis or Viking sword, and expand it. So I chose Viking sword or axes, because there he is with his axes. So I picked those guys, that guy. So I'm going to expand Viking axes, and this is going to show me a bunch of animations that are already on that character. So I want to go ahead and use these. So what you should do is drag the first one idle. Do idle first. It's not critical, but it just is better if you do. So I'm going to grab the idle pose, and I'm just going to drag and drop it right on my Viking axis character, just like so. And if everyone just looks up here really quick, just to show you what just happened there. When I did that, I'm going to open my animator window, and now if I click on my Viking axis, you can see that it took my idle animation and dropped it into the state machine. We're going to get into the state machine now, which is probably about as tricky as it's going to get, so hopefully everyone pays attention. So all I did there was I took my idle, dropped it on my character in my hierarchy, and that added that first clip. And now if I press play, and we take a look at our scene view, check it out. My Viking is now idling. Woo! Very exciting. If I want to add some other clips, I'm going to take jump, and I can either drop it on the Viking, or I can drop it in the state machine, and I'm going to drag and drop run. So all I really did there was I went to Model, Mini Viking. I decided, well, did I pick Viking axes or Viking sword initially? I expanded that open, and then I drag and drop either, I drop idle on first, because idle's going to make that first connection, otherwise you have to break the connection, which is no big deal. But drop idle on first, right onto your Viking axis character in your hierarchy. Then take jump, drop it on, and take run, jump it on, run, jump it on. You just drag and jump your run onto your axis. Making no sense. And if you click on Window Animator, that is going to bring up the state machine, like so. And now if I press play, we should see idling dude, and you should also see the idling progress bar showing us how far along we are in the idle state. All right, so let's go ahead and open back up our steps. I remember when I wrote this, I was like, well, that's a super easy step. Maybe I'll have to do a little bit more. But that's where it gets a little complicated when we get into animation. So, you don't have to do anything that I'm showing you right now. I just wanted to explain to you what's happening. Early on, we put a script on our Viking put a script on our Viking called player full control. And you probably, I mentioned a few times, look, there's jump with a capital J, there's grounded with a capital G, there's speed. So all of these are variables. These variables were declared up here, and they are containing some sort of value. They're containing whether or not we're on the ground. The rigid body collider is telling us that. Are we on the ground or not? If we are, that variable is going to be true. It's a Boolean. Otherwise, it's going to be false. Have we pushed the jump button? If we push the jump button, then we are going to set the animation trigger to jump. So what is the animation trigger? What is the Boolean ground trigger? And then lastly, what is the animation set float speed? These are what are called parameters. Parameters are what allow you to change conditions in the state machine. If you don't know what a state machine is, I like to make a somewhat funny analogy of you're walking down the street, and you're walking, and then someone jumps out and pulls a knife. You start to run. The condition that caused you to go from walk to run was someone pulling a knife, or someone shouting at you, or something happened that triggered you to go from one state to the other. That's exactly how the state machine in Unity works. You either tell it a Boolean happened, a yes or no just happened, a trigger just happened, or a value reached a certain parameter, at a certain value. So we have to declare those inside of here. So you can see again, we have three different ones we need. We need jump, are we jumping? Are we on the ground? And what's our speed? So inside of our state machine, and the way we get to the state machine is by going window, animator, that's where we see our clips. I need to create a parameter that's going to tell us, hey, when am I running, when am I jumping, and when am I idling? So to do that, we click the parameters tab. And I don't know why layers is default, because 90% of the time you're doing parameters, but anyway, click on parameters. Right now it says the list is empty. I'm going to click plus, and I'm going to create a floating point parameter. And that floating point parameter is speed. Speed with a capital S. Now I've declared the variable. We know the variable exists.